From Belleville, Pennsylvania, I'm with Sam Peachey. And Sam, you're a unique guy. You were raised Amish. How did you get where you are today?
Well, I always wanted to, when I was behind the plow yet and I saw an airplane go, I was wondering, could I someday be flying? And it just always intrigued me. And then after we got married, I started taking lessons. We built a house, and then I put it on the back burner for a couple years, and then about 22 years ago I started again, and then I got hooked.
Well, Sam, did you stay in the Amish tradition at the beginning of your marriage?
No, I had left the Amish when I was 17 and joined the Mennonite church, and that's where I met my wife, Barb, and then we got married in 79, and we have 6 children.
How many of your children fly?
There's 3 of the girls fly. Ivy and Carol have their license, and the youngest daughter soloed. And Carol had her license before I did. She was 17 when she got her license.
Isn't it wonderful when you see your daughters out flying?
Yes, it is. The first time Carol and I went flying, she took some lessons, and then down in Phoenixville, and they didn't have insurance to solo her. So when she came home and I said, I want you to keep flying, I said, you don't want to lose what you learned. So her and I went flying one evening, and she took off in the cold. Well, I told her to taxi, and she taxied, and I said, now go a little faster the next time and push the stick forward. It'll lift your tail wheel. She did that and came back, and I said, now fly a little longer this time. But you remember when you give it throttle that it'll take you to the right because of the torque. And she gave it a good bit more, and she went out over the cornfield, and I think it scared her, and she gave it full throttle, and she took off like a rocket. And she went up toward Allensville, turned around like she was in a 747, came back, and she was about 50 feet high, and I was standing there, and I was scared, and she was scared because I told her not to take off. And then she did a flyby and waved at me, and I waved back at her like we're both calm. Yeah. And I thought that would help her. She turned around and came in and did a beautiful landing.
Were you doing any praying, Sam?
I did. She did a beautiful landing, and I gave her a hug, and I said, do it again. She did it one more time, and then we went home and had supper.
A lot of people think Amish and Mennonite is one and the same, but you do share some values and some traditions. But what is the main difference?
The main difference, I guess, would be that our beliefs. We believe that you can only be saved by the blood of Jesus Christ, and that alone. And I think works will follow. And I think a lot of the Amish perhaps put more emphasis on works and doing things the hard way. Now, they're not all like that. There's some that are truly born again, I'm sure. But that would be the main difference, I guess.
Sam, when you're out flying, you just can't imagine somebody not believing in God.
That's correct. Yes, I often said that if somebody hasn't believed before they took off, why, just seeing the creation and everything from above, it gives you a completely new perspective.
Sam, you're known as flying the Highlander. You fly it at Oshkosh, you demonstrate for the factory. Tell us about this little airplane behind us.
Well, this is my 3rd one, and I'd have a hard time getting rid of a Highlander. They're just so fun to fly and so easy and docile, forgiving. And now they have a super stall out that I'm getting one of those here in the spring, and you can't land them wrong. They have a big shock that takes they actually say it makes you a sloppy pilot because you can just set them in anywhere. We had a fly in here last week, and 2 of them flew up from North Carolina, and they started landing in the pasture up toward the mountain. The first time they landed there, they said, oh my, one of the airplanes crashed. And we all ran up towards the blueberry patch, and we saw he was turning around, and he took off again. And after that, they started making that their landing strip.
What kind of engine would that have in?
It has the 912S, which is 100 horse. Well, I cruise a nice 90, and if you want to go somewhere, you can go 100. The stall is really low. I can fly as slow as 25, 30. People ask me what's the speed coming in, and I really don't look at the speed. I just fly by the seat of my pants, I guess, and by the feel.
And you're well known for doing the candy drop. But do they expect it when you come over?
Well, the neighborhood there does. They're always out there as soon as they hear my plane. And I don't know, I started doing it, and now I do it for birthday parties and reunions, Sunday school classes, and
I hear you're pretty good. I mean, you can put that candy just about wherever you want it.
pretty much, yes, that's had a lot of practice. And if you know which way the wind comes, if it comes toward you, you drop it just a little bit before you're at the crowd, and then it'll drift, and it'll be right on the spot.
Sam, we appreciate your time. You have a wonderful family, and holding on to the traditional values and what you stand for, it's a wonderful testimony.
Thank you.
I'm with Ivy Peachey. Ivy, a young mother, you're a wonderful pilot, but we don't often see a young lady in traditional dress out flying. What kind of reaction do you get when you get out of your airplane often?
They think it's pretty cool, I think. And I don't know. They think that if a girl can fly this plane, then most people should be able to fly it too.
What got you interested? You just grew up around airplanes?
Yeah, my dad flew ever since I can remember pretty much, and he would take us with him once in a while. But I also took lessons from an instructor around here for my license.
You love this flying off grass strips and that kind of flying?
Yeah, that's the best. My husband also has his license, and so we like to go flying together. If there's fly-ins, we like to take the family and go.
Ivy, when did you get your license?
When I was 19 years old.
And you've been around this kind of airplane, so you probably have more tail dragger time than nose wheel.
Yes, definitely. I like to fly nose wheel too, but this one is definitely my favorite.
It's a lot of fun for you to demonstrate the short takeoff and landing to people who don't normally do this.
Yeah, it is. That's fun.
When you go to Oshkosh, you meet a lot of different people. What kind of reactions do you get?
They often kind of stop and look and then look again because I dress different for one thing, and it's a girl, so.
Ivy, you know, when you're out flying, I mean, it would be difficult, don't you think, to be an agnostic and fly?
Definitely. I mean, you can see, especially this time of the year, the leaves are just awesome, and no one could create such beauty but God.
Tell us about your family.
I'm married to a wonderful husband, and we have 2 children. Sophia is 6 months, and Bryant is almost 3 years old.